Hello everyone, welcome to our weekly Purple Penny video. My name's Mark. I own and run the Purple Penny along with my wife Catherine. We're in the northern suburbs of Adelaide in South Australia in Australia. This is the 50th time this year I believe I've done this. It's going to be the last one on a Monday too. Next week we will have a video next week, but it's not going to be on Monday. I think we'll probably hold it on Wednesday. As plans firm up, I will pop something up on Facebook. I hope everyone is enjoying the run up to the end of the year. Of course, there's only 12 days left in the year, just not even a week till Christmas, and we're in our last trading week for the year. So Catherine and I have got a bit of a smile on our face. We're looking forward to having some public holidays off. Hello everyone that's watching. I'll just say hello to a few people here. Paul, Mike, Ogie, Jason, Patrick and Cam. Thank you everyone for joining in. Now, it's been hectic here in the last week. We have been buying so much stuff. It's been insane. You may or may not know that one of our competitors here in Adelaide closed down several months ago, and I think we've picked up a fair bit of traffic from them, a fair bit of foot traffic. So please do keep your eye out on our website and Facebook because we will be listing up a whole bunch of stuff over the next few weeks. There's not enough space in the stock room, and the bank account's looking a bit sad, so we need to actually start selling some stuff. Lots of gold and silver, and hopefully some really nice pre-decimal coins. There's some lovely $2 C mint marks that we've got available as well. So just keep an eye out on the website. We're closing this Saturday. So this Saturday we will be shut down until the first Wednesday in January. And that would be the 4th of January. The website will keep running. We will probably be in here working in the background every day apart from the public holidays anyway. So things will keep working as normal online. We just won't have the shop open. So please do keep an eye out on the shop, on the web shop, of course. That's about it, really. There's nothing special that we're doing. We're just catching up with our family and all that sort of thing, which I imagine is what most people are doing. So in news this week, the Mint did announce that they are going to have a special memorial obverse for the Queen. We were hoping for a wonderful, wonderful new design that they have come up with, but of course they haven't. They've just popped some extra words on, some extra numbers on the obverse there. So now it just says Elizabeth II, 1952 to 2022, which is the years of her reign. The wording around the release of that obverse was rather careful. It did say that it would be used on collector and investment coins in 2023. It didn't say it would be used on all collector or investment coins. It did just say collector and investment coins. Of course, the Mint has already said that they will not be using Her Majesty's portrait on circulation coins for 2023. So I guess, the Mint is playing their part in the passing of the Queen, and of course a little tweak to the obverse there, which doesn't take a whole lot of effort on their behalf, gives them a nice little thing that they can market and keep in the media to keep their sales ticking over. So that's the memorial obverse for the Queen, which we can expect to see on collector and investment coins dated 2023, but of course not all of them, because some have already been released with the standard QE2 obverse on them. Hello Gary, hello Mike, hello Greg, thank you for your best wishes, Greg. Hello Bob, thank you for your best wishes as well. Right, other news. There's our closure dates there, so just take that into mind. We probably won't be answering the phone during that period. We may answer it, we're not sure, but just contact us through our website contact form, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. As I said, we'll probably be in here working on the non-public holidays anyway, but the public holidays we will definitely be having off this year. Right, the Reserve Bank announced a really interesting press release. It wasn't a press release, it was a speech that the governor of the Reserve Bank gave about the cash holdings that Australians have. And it turns out that there are more $50 notes and $100 notes in circulation than ever before. And in fact, 38 $50 notes and 18 $100 notes for each and every Australian that exists. So that's a lot of $50 and $100 notes. Now, interesting things there about cash usage. The withdrawals in the last 4 years from ATMs have gone down 18%, but the actual spend that people have been spending has gone up 27%. Now, I'm a little bit surprised that it was only 18% because if you take what many people say online, no one's using cash anymore. But clearly that's not the case. There's still a lot of people that use cash. We still get a lot of people that use cash in here. Of course, we do encourage people to use cash, and it's not a tax evasion thing or anything like that. It's because the bank charges us a fee, and it doesn't matter whether you pay with credit card or FPOS or whatever it happens to be. The bank gets a lazy 1.5% of that every time someone puts something through our machine, so we would just prefer not to give that to the bank. And that, of course, is why we don't take a credit card for bullion and things like that, because that 1.5% often is 20% of the margin that we make on bullion. So that's the reason why we don't take it for bullion. Right, let's just have a look at some comments here that people have made about the cash. Jeff says a fair chunk of those notes would be sitting in banks around Australia versus people's houses. So yeah, I wonder if they're sitting in safety deposit boxes or actually in the houses. Jeff, that's a really interesting observation there. And who else has said something here? John, thank you for your best wishes there. And Kenya is saying, whoever has hers, can they please return them to her? That's a funny one. Tanya would pay that one. I don't have them, that's for sure. And Greg says, Merry Christmas to everyone. Thank you for your best wishes there. And Bob says that the majority of those banknotes would be held in drug dealers' stashes. Now, I don't know about that. We get a lot of money in here that older people have had stashed away, and it's a fairly common thing for older people to stash away a lot of cash. We don't, as far as I know, get a lot of drug dealers in here, but interesting theory anyway. Now, Patrick says, please tell the men I'll gladly accept 38, 50 and $1,800 notes. Yeah, I will too. Perhaps we'll give them a call and wonder and ask them for ours. Hello, Alan. Hello, Jason. Thank you, everyone, for watching today. Now, coins in the news this week. In the caves around the Sea of Galilee, there were some 15 tetragrams found that dated to about 200 BCE. So we'll just put up a picture of those here. This is a really interesting find. So they were found in that wooden container there, which looked like it was turned on a lathe, a wooden container, and the wooden container contained some packing. And at the bottom of the wooden container were 15 silver tetragrams, which dated to about 175 BCE, and they were struck under Ptolemy IV, who was the pharaoh of Egypt. Now, a couple of really interesting things about this is that the environment around the Sea of Galilee is hot and dry, so that the cloth in the container was not decomposed at all, and the actual wooden container itself basically almost looked like the day it was made. It was in virtually perfect condition. Some of those coins were actually engraved with some Hebrew names, so someone had actually carved their name into those coins. And historians are saying that those caves around the Sea of Galilee were historically used in times of crisis by the Jewish population to sort of hide and take refuge. And interestingly, some Jewish scholars are linking the finds of these coins to some events are actually described in the book of Maccabees in the Old Testament, where the population of Judah fled to the Sea of Galilee to evade a war that the Egyptian pharaohs were conducting against them. So perhaps they're saying that this is a proof that that actually happened. But regardless of the historical background to it, it's a really fantastic find, and I find it amazing that 2,200-year-old things can be virtually in the same condition that they were stored in. It's quite remarkable. I couldn't find a close-up image of the coins, unfortunately, but if I do, I'll pop it up at some other time. Now, the last item for the week here, and if you watch these videos, you do know that I like my British metal detecting stuff. I like watching metal detecting videos on YouTube and mudlarking videos on YouTube, and they're primarily done in England. If you're not sure what mudlarking is, it's people that go up and down the banks of rivers in England looking for interesting things. And of course, you would know as well that in England, if you find things of certain types, silver coins, gold coins that are over a certain age, or silver items or gold items that are over a certain age, you actually have to turn them into the government. The government has passed legislation in 2003 to say that all items of certain types and age actually belong to the government. And that doesn't mean that if you find them, you don't get compensated for them. It just means that you have to give the government the first option to them, and then they will compensate you later. Now, those items are turned into something that is called the Portable Antiquities Scheme, and sometime in the early 2000s or the late 2010s, up to 26 different fines were handed into the Portable Antiquities Schemes in, let me just read my notes here, I think it's Leicestershire, handed into the Leicestershire Portable Antiquities Schemes and then passed on to the local council to store. And anyway, they've gone missing. And that includes one fine that was 29 basically mint state Roman silver denariuses and a Roman silver ingot. So they've actually gone missing while they were being held by the council. And the only reason that they found out that they'd gone missing is that the British Museum contacted the council to actually get their hands on those things so that they could evaluate them and then compensate the finders of them, and they couldn't be found. Now, pretty terrible really, because the whole idea of the Portable Antiquity Scheme was to preserve British history, and unfortunately it looks like something has gone awry there. Now, interestingly, the finders will still be compensated by the government for their fines, but of course, as you can imagine, everyone is pretty upset about that. Jeff Heidemann says, "Oh, mudlarking is awesome. I thought I was the only one who watched those YouTube channels." Jeff, currently mudlarking videos on YouTube are my addiction. I usually watch one or two a day. I find them really interesting, and I find it quite amazing that you can sort of drop a ladder down onto the bank of the Thames and find clay pipes that are 300 years old and tiles that are 2,000 years old and things like that. I just find that quite amazing. So that's the news for this week. Now, topic of the week. I thought I'd have a look at what I talked in the video at this time last year. And this time last year, I think it was December the 20th, I actually gave you my predictions for 2022. And there it is there. That's my predictions for 2022. So the first one there was that 2021 collectors drop off. Now, my theory there was that as we were coming out of COVID, that a lot of the people that had got into coins had more disposable income, that they would decide to spend their money elsewhere, whether that be on holidays or houses or whatever. And I will say that I was partially correct there, because we certainly saw a downturn in our shop and through our website up until about the 3rd of September, and then the Queen died. So as a consequence, that sort of slow decline that we were seeing stopped declining, and everything exploded. It absolutely exploded. September and October were, by far and away the busiest months we've ever had, and the number of people that entered the collecting hobby just was beyond belief. Now, I will just say though that things have actually started slowing down a little now, so the interest in the royal stuff has dropped away, but of course the release of the Poppy in November has brought a lot of that interest back in, and so I'm going to claim a partial credit on that one, but I can't help that the Queen passed away. How inconvenient. Right, second one there was that the RAM increases mintages of releases. Now that one was absolutely correct. The Mint did increase the number of rolls and C Mint marks that they released this year. And my theory last year was that the Mint was watching the secondary market of those sorts of things and thinking, well, if these things go into the secondary market at 2 or 3 times release price, why don't we just release more? And then more of that money ends up in the Mint's pockets rather than in resellers' pockets. So that one was absolutely correct. My third point there was that storage becomes more important. And the reason that I suggested that is that because a lot of new collectors that came into the market in 2021 weren't perhaps au fait with how things should be stored, and as such there would be a lot of damaged product around, and that the smart collector would look more into storing their things to keep them pristine. Now, I will just say we're selling more coin album pages and albums and coin holders than ever, like way more than we ever did. So whether that's a sign of that or not, I'm not sure. That one's probably a bit hard to measure. The next one there is a search for value, and what I was trying to say there was that the savvy collector would be looking around for items that perhaps the market wasn't fixated on and buying those up. And I think that is actually going on. I think that certainly in newer Mint product, there are people that are looking at buying up the things that aren't having a run up on Facebook at the moment. And one thing to me that's not having a run up on the moment is the Coronation C Mint mark. For some reason the price of those has dropped back. Similarly, the price of planetary sets is falling back. The price of 2012 red poppies is falling back, so perhaps some of the heat's going out of it and the smart person would be buying those things up. The last one there, surge in pre-decimals. I was dead wrong on that. The pre-decimal market is as flat as a tack. And I would say, if anything, it has slowed down a little bit. The key date coins that we pop up on our website used to sell really quickly, and the speed of the sale of those has dropped away. Now, the sad thing is that pre-decimal coins are virtually ancient history for a lot of collectors, and it's difficult to encourage new collectors to get into that market because there's no doubt that they are harder to understand, harder to collect. It's not boxed up Mint product. It is very much reliant on the condition of the coins, and there are fakes around. So, is the pre-decimal market going to continue to be flat? Probably. Right, so that's my successes and failures for my predictions from last year. This is my predictions from this year, for this year. Let's just see if I can get that. What have I done here? Oh, I've put the wrong picture there. Just excuse me 1 second. Right. So my next big thing is that as Charles III coins are released here in Australia, there is going to be a massive groundswell of interest in those. I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to know that that's going to happen. It will get in the media, it'll be on the TV, it will be everywhere. So those first coins that come out with Charles III on it is probably going to bring in tens of thousands of new collectors into the market. So you'd better prepare yourself for that, because there's no doubt that that is going to happen. It will be crazy. It will be crazy. My next prediction is that the Mint's going to use more ballots. I think that the goings on around the 2022 poppy have proven that technical problems that huge demand presents to information technology systems isn't easily solved, and ballots are perhaps a fairer way of doing that, and certainly an easier way for the Mint to manage. So I suspect the Mint will go down the ballot path for more things this year or next year than just the odd $2 coin. The flippers and bots are still going to cause problems to the Mint. It's a problem that bigger businesses than the Royal Australian Mint haven't been able to solve, and I think that they are going to continue to have problems with those during the year, and that's why I think that they will go to more ballots, because that system is much harder to manipulate. The next one, I'd be surprised if the Mint doesn't do this. I think they'll release a 10th anniversary purple coronation coin this year. I think it'll be C Mint mark only, and I think it'll probably be towards the beginning of the year to try and avoid the coronation of Charles III. Now, I don't know if that is going to happen. I've got no inside knowledge, but it makes sense that given the success of the 2022 red poppy, that a 2023 purple coronation would probably go off like the proverbial in a sack, I would imagine. So you better get yourself ready for that one. Catherine and I had better start printing out ballot tickets and things now for that. I think the Mint will try another coloured dollar coin. I know the donation dollar hasn't been particularly successful, but I think there's been a lot of interest in the Vegemite dollar coin, and I think that some people at the Mint have probably taken notice of that, and I think they'll try another dollar coin, something commemorative, to see if they can get collectors moving into dollar coins as well as $2 coins. I mean, I don't know anything about that. I just think it makes sense. And my last thing there is that pre-decimal coins are still going to be flat. I just can't see that market is going to pick up in any time in the future, which is a complete reversal on what I predicted last year. So that's my predictions for 2023. Anyone out there that's got predictions for 2023, please feel free to share them in the comments or send us an email or a Facebook message or a YouTube message if you're watching later. Just absolute wild guesses there from my behalf. No inside knowledge there from anyone. Right, let's have a look at some comments and then we'll wind up for the day. Hello, Alison. Hello, Gwen. Gary, yeehaw, the red poppy. I know, mate, it's a favourite of yours. Greg, if only the media spoke of pre-decimal, it would skyrocket as it has with current coins. Yeah, probably, but you know, it's too hard. Pre-decimal coins are too hard for people to understand. There's too many coins. There's too many factors in terms of condition and things like that. The 1930 penny thing that they went on about, the one that went at auction for 60 grand or whatever, any pre-decimal collector knows that that coin completely oversold at the price that it was. There were coins in better condition that were available for sale on the retail market for half the price. So, you know, while the media might latch onto the odd pre-decimal thing, it is a much more complicated area than mint product. And that's not to denigrate the collectors of mint product. It's just, you know, that's just a different beast. It's just a different beast. Eric says noodling is on the rise with CEM machines available now. I don't know what a CEM machine is. Noodling has certainly been on the rise for a few years, and I guess the banks are probably internally at least trying to work out a way of dealing with people who empty out change machines and roll machines. And I wouldn't be surprised if they introduce a business account only requirement on those coin machines, the roll machines and the change machines. Noodlers can carry on all they like about how they should be able to get money out of the bank, but if the bank is incurring costs because of having to restock those machines all the time, then they'll figure out a way to stop incurring those costs. They are businesses and they have to make money. And if you're causing them to lose money, they'll work out a way to prevent you from doing so, which is a shame because noodling is a great gateway to coin collecting. It's not economically very efficient, but it is good fun. I just wish some people would perhaps spread the love a bit rather than emptying out the machines all the time, which must be frustrating for other collectors and the bank staff. So yeah, Eric, I'm not sure what a CEM machine. And you're asking, how do the ballot coins sell? What's the process? So the way the Mint did it with the Poppy was that everyone who was on their mailing list up until a certain date and time got an email saying that they could enter a ballot. You clicked on a link in the ballot and that entered you into the ballot, and then they chose people at random who had entered the ballot and then emailed them a link to be able to purchase the coins. So it's just a random draw. Catherine and I did a similar thing with some of the red poppies for our country, our non-metropolitan Adelaide customers, where we just took a bunch of names and then drew a number of them at random and allowed them to buy the poppies at release price. Cam says, and then the 2027 planetary 10th anniversary set. Yeah, I can't wait for that one. Ash, welcome. You didn't miss us. And Greg says his prediction is I'm going to be broker than usual. Love my notes. Yes, there's always something else to spend the money on them. Jeff says pre-decimals need some attention and better governance by ANDA. It's too easy to get burned, which makes it hard to get new collectors into the market. Now, what Jeff is saying there is absolutely correct. There is, and there has been too much. I'll say gradeflation, so overgrading coins when they sell them, undergrading them when they buy them, cleaning coins, improving coins. There's been a lot of that's gone on in the pre-decimal market for a long time. And if you are buying raw coins, then it is a danger. Now, I'll tell you, we got caught this week. We bought a collection of sovereigns that were in old holders from the 1970s and 1980s. And we tested them all with our XRF gun. They were all gold. They all looked okay to me. But when I took them out of the holder, one of them was clearly underweight. When I held it, it was 7 grams instead of 8. And it was in an old holder from a well-known dealer in Sydney that had sold it to someone in the 1980s, and it was a forgery. So it's disappointing for collectors who get caught, and if we can get caught, then anyone can really, and that's not big noting myself. We see a lot of coins, and it's quite difficult to get these things past us. But sometimes we don't have the time to take every coin out of a flip and weigh it, especially if it's in an old flip. You assume that it's probably going to be okay. And in fact, we got a compliment from someone a few weeks ago because we listed up some pre-decimal coins, and we always disclose if they're cleaned and things like that. And he said that it was a breath of fresh air because a lot of dealers in the past wouldn't be that open with things, and for us it just makes sense to do that for collectors so they know what they're buying. Merry Christmas to you, Patrick. See you next year. Thank you, Amber, for your compliment on our predictions. Renix facts may need to be updated and more accurate. I'll tell you, Amber, the Renix authors and Greg McDonald, they're on a high end to nothing with their catalogues. They get 99.999% of the information right, and all we fixate on is that 0.01% that's wrong. And the other trouble is, of course, is that prices change so quickly and the mint reports are so vague and often incorrect that it is difficult for them to get it right. I like Renix. I like Greg McDonald's book. They're great sources of information. Yeah, you can find things wrong with them, but I can tell you I couldn't do anything remotely as good as either of those two publishers. So, Eric Chilver says CEMs are coin exchange machines where you can swap your notes for coins. Okay, yep. Hi Ben. Yeah, thank you for the gift basket, for the gift, Ben, that we got in the mail. It's much appreciated, mate. Hello, Kristala. Thank you. Merry Christmas to you too. No worries about the info on the ballot, Eric. Amber saying Charles III coins. Any insight into a release date? No, nothing. The mint is silent about that, Amber. We've got nothing for you there. Sheriff is saying he disagrees that the ballot is a fair way to distribute RAM coins. People create 10 accounts and get better chance to win the ballot. See how many 2022 poppies are on sale. I didn't say it was perfect. I said it was better. It's better than the way the website was working, because the website wasn't working at all. It's easy to pick the holes and things, but Sharif, I challenge you to come up with a way that you think is perfect, and I think you'll find there isn't one. Okay, you sell it through the shop only, and then you have all your relatives lined up with you, or you just sell it through the website, and then you have the bot software that causes problems. You sell it through as a ballot, but then you have to have been an account holder for 2 years. Well, what about all the genuine collectors that have collected in the last 2 years? Or your account has to have spent $500. What if you're someone who doesn't have much money and you've only spent $50? You miss out too. It doesn't matter what this method is. There's always going to be problems with it, but I contend that the ballot method is still a lot better than what was happening on the website. Hello, Shane. Thank you for your kind wishes. Hello, Ogie. Thank you for your kind wishes. Eric says, are we able to get the silver Aztec 1 ounce coin the same as KM450 but fine bullion from you? No, we don't have those in here. We do get them from time to time, but we don't have one at the moment. Mike says, Renix is brilliant. I must admit, Mike, that I always used to use McDonald's. But the last 3 years of using Renix in here, I do much prefer Renix, and for no other reason than you can lay it flat, and that was always a problem with the McDonald's pocketbook, because you couldn't lay it flat without breaking the spine. Thank you for your Christmas wishes. Thank you, Nicole, for your Christmas wishes. Hello, Detlef, how are you? No worries, Amber. Thank you for your assistance during the year. It's been a pleasure talking to you during the year. Thank you, Philip, for your kind wishes, and thank you, Paul, for your kind wishes. I think that'll do for today. How long have we been going for? A while. Thank you, everyone, for watching. It's been a pleasure as usual. If I don't see you next week because you're busy, please have a great Christmas and a Happy New Year. Next week, I'm going to plan to do it on Wednesday at lunchtime, same time. But it's not concrete yet. Family plans may call us away to other things. But happy collecting, everyone. Happy festive season. Thank you so much, everyone out there, for supporting us during the year. Catherine and I couldn't and wouldn't do it without all the support that we get. And for those of you who have been into the shop, I've spoken to on the phone or exchanged emails with, thank you for being so kind and understanding and thoughtful. I really am amazed at how nice people are. It's been an absolute pleasure running this shop and just interacting with people. So thank you, everyone. Have a great week. Hopefully I'll see you next week. Bye for now.